Life is Strange is one of my favorite series of all time. It's a franchise where I personally think there's no real bad games in it. They all have amazing stories to tell and characters you want to get to know in worlds that are beautiful with soundtracks that just put it all together. I love this series, and since we got a new title in the series, Life is Strange Double Exposure, back in October, I figured it was time to re-rank the series from worst to best, adding this new title, giving me another chance to talk about the series again, as well as the new game since I was so late to playing Double Exposure, instead of doing just a plain old review for that game because it's already past that kind of time bracket. I figured this would be better. But before we begin, hi, I'm Keegan, and I love to talk about games from rankings to retrospectives. If you're new here and you like what you see, consider subscribing, as I would greatly appreciate it and would love to have you here. Anyways, let's dive into my list, ranking every Life is Strange game from worst to best. So at number 5, we got Life is Strange Before the Storm, the prequel to the original Life is Strange. And while I still have tons of fun with this game, this one is held back, even from my first playthrough, as I kind of knew for the most part what was going to happen, as it's a prequel. Not to mention this is the shortest game in the series. While I loved playing as Chloe, getting more of her story, at the time I wanted the next Max adventure. For what it is, it's awesome. The soundtrack is one of my favorites, and I'm always down to mess around in Arcadia Bay, since this is probably going to be the last time we'll probably ever get to mess around here. While this isn't a bad game, it's definitely the weakest of the series from how short it was and a couple other things, but it does give great context to the first game, especially if you play the DLC episode that they had, Farewell. But to be honest, I never really liked the ending to this game, kinda, and some of the characters get on my nerves, and in a series of emotional-ass games, this one is just sad as fuck, like more than most of the Life is Strange games are, and that's saying something. It's a little too much trauma for me. All in all, it's a decent time, but there are just some games in the series that do it way better, and I know this is a fan favorite, so I'll probably get shitted on, but like I said, I like it, but compared to the rest of the series, it's going to come in last for me, at least at the moment. Now, going between 4 and 3 are kind of bouncing back and forth for me, so I know I'm probably going to get hate for this at the moment, but at number 4, we got Life is Strange True Colors, the long-awaited return after the release of Life is Strange 2. This game is beautiful, being in the Colorado mountains in this small beautiful town with some solid new characters as well as a returning character. While I think this game is beautiful and the actors did great, it just felt like the ending that was building up the whole game fell a little short or just went a little fast, which in my opinion seems to be a Decknine problem. I don't know, I was a little disappointed by how the game ended, but in every other area this game kills it. My biggest thing with every game, to be honest, is I want more game. I feel like I don't get as much time with the characters as I'd like. Now, again, spoilers for probably all these games potentially, so if you haven't played them, maybe you should go play them, I don't know. But out the gate, you're in the game for maybe an hour, and Gabe dies, and we're off. I don't know, it felt like each episode or chapter could have used an extra hour to spend more time with the characters and just kind of softly go into it. And this game felt really short, in my opinion, so that would have also helped, given an extra little bit of runtime. I don't know, like I said, this and my number 3 are kind of flipping all around over the place at the moment, but the game still plays great, it looks beautiful, I love Alex's power, it's all good and the soundtrack is beautiful, but for now I'm gonna put Life is Strange True Colors at number 4. Just be gentle in the comments. Now, I know I'm going to ruffle some feathers here, but hear me out. At number 3, at the moment, I have Life is Strange Double Exposure, the newest title in the series upon the release of this video. Yes, I agree, they missed the mark with what they could have done with Max, but I seen that coming from a mile away. I thought Max as a character was still great here, and as for the story, yes, it had some underwhelming moments in certain areas, but it was also really cool in a lot of spots for me. This was the first time we actually got to see someone else with superpowers, which is super cool. I wish it was done a little differently, but it's nothing I can't live with. And what they gave us for the first half of the game, I was on the edge of my seat and wanted to see more immediately. Like I said, Decknine isn't good about sticking the landing per se. That's probably their biggest problem as a company. And stuff like the soundtrack, it wasn't bad. It did lack a lot of music, which kind of fucked up the process, and that's always a bad thing in a game series like this. But this game is beautiful, and the world we are in is very nice. Caledon University is a super cool spot. Our characters were great. I loved Moses, and Sophie I'm a little iffy on, but Dr. Gwen, loved her. Lots of cons and pros to this game, but all in all, I really enjoyed my time with it. And maybe it's recency bias, but this is where I'm feeling to put it. So be gentle in the comments. Alright, maybe I'll go back and I'll stream it and give the game another shot and give my full review on it. I do think Lost Records, the new game by Don't Nod, the original company that made Life is Strange, that game that's releasing soon, I think it's going to crush this game. But for the series, it's decent, and it made me want to see more, and it did end on a cliffhanger. It did decent, but could have been way, way better. So at number 2, we got the most underrated game in the series by far, Life is Strange 2. I adore this game. I thought that the Diaz brothers and their journey being on the run was amazing. Atmosphere up the ass. Love the road trip story. Banging ass soundtrack as well as awesome side characters like my boy Brody. This game did everything I wanted for a sequel since we were told Max and Chloe weren't coming back, at least at the time. And it was awesome. I wish we got to see Sean and Daniel a little more throughout the series, but we probably never will again. I did see some people making theories on what's going to happen after Double Exposure, with Sophie going off to find the other supers, but I doubt they'd ever bring them back, because the choice-based game thing makes it all weird, and I mean, if Decknine did it right, I'd gain a lot of respect for them. But either way, Life is Strange 2 is a yearly play for me and my wife. It's amazing, and it just goes to show why Don't Nod should still be developing this series. The endings are all fire, except one, and the story as a whole, along with the characters and soundtrack, is just beautiful and amazing. I love the way this game looks. I love the Diaz brothers, the Wolf brothers. It's awesome. I'd love to see them again, and it just does the damn thing for me. So Life is Strange 2 is at number 2. So at number 1, as if there was any doubt, number 1 is the original Life is Strange. How could it not be? The story is perfect. The characters, while a little extra at times, are amazing. The game itself is beautiful, and the soundtrack is one of the best gaming soundtracks of all time in terms of original soundtrack and even licensed soundtrack. Giving us one of the best characters in gaming with Max, this game gave us an amazing story filled with drama and mystery, sparking a fandom that has lasted 10 years now. Nothing can ever top this game, at least in the series, which does always make it hard when a new game comes out, as it's obviously going to be compared to this title, for a good reason. It is a perfect game, no ifs, ands, or buts. This will always hold a super special place in my heart, and it just did everything right. Stylistically, story-wise, character-wise, gameplay-wise, the superpower in here with Max being able to rewind time. This is one of those games I wish I could erase from my mind so I could play it again for the first time, no doubt. It's one of my favorite games of all time, and to me, for the Life is Strange series, it's the best game in the series, and Life is Strange 1 is my number 1. So that's my list, and I'm totally sure yours is different, and if it is, that's okay. I would love to know your list in the comments below. Let's talk Life is Strange, but either way, I do hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, consider subscribing, as I've done lots of rankings as well as retrospectives and other little fun stuff. This list for me changes all the time. I think Life is Strange 1 and 2 will always be my top 2, just my general favorites, but the rest always shuffle around for me. So take it easy on me. Like I said, I love all these games. I don't think any of these games are actually bad. I don't think there's a bad Life is Strange game for the most part. But anyways, if you made it this far in the video, thank you. You're awesome. That's all I got for you today. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe to see more of what I've done and what's to come. I'd love to have you. But anyways, thanks for coming, and thanks for watching.